Hey everybody, it's Denise, and today I'm going to be filming my March wrap-up and my April TBR. These are the books that I read in March. The first book I read was Extras by Scott Westerfeld, and this is the third book in the Uglies quartet, I guess you could say, because the first three books are part of a series, and the last book, which is Extras, is a sort of like an after the fact of the first three books. I really loved the series. It was my first sci-fi kind of experience, and I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I actually read the book before I saw the movie, and the book and movie were both amazing. If you love mysteries and thrillers, you are going to love that book. Next, I read Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I read this for my junior year in English, and I didn't really like it. It's a thing where, if I'm forced to read a book, I automatically do not like it, and it's pretty bad, because some of the books I read this year were pretty good, such as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I overall didn't like Catch-22. I didn't find it funny, and haters gonna hate because I actually kind of hated it. The next book I read was actually a reread, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. I read this book because I was in a Harry Pottery mood. I already read the series in 7th grade, but I've never reread the whole thing. I've always reread book by book by book. I've never read the whole thing marathoning, but I like to read these books when I'm in a reading slump, and I was actually in a reading slump after I read Gone Girl. So I just wanted to get in the preppy mood and want to read again. Next, I read Fangirl by Rowell. This was my first Rowell experience, and I was so glad that I picked this up, and I was just grateful to have read it, and everybody loved it, and I ended up loving it, and I'll probably have a review up soon, but this is one of my favorites of all time. I lied, and actually my first Rowell experience was Eleanor and Park. I don't have the book right now because I borrowed it from one of my English teachers, and I don't have it anymore. It's pretty sad, but I really loved it. It was this really cute teenage love story, and I'm jealous. The last book I read this month was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I was in love with this book. I just finished it 2 hours ago, and my mind is still blown. The betrayal in this book, the overall theme, the characters, the plot, everything is amazing. I was expecting this book to be below standards, I guess you could say, because overhyped books are not normally good, but this one is my only exception. These are the books that I plan to read in April. The first book I plan to read in April is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I have to read this book for English, and it's about a fashionista in New York. That's basically all I know about it. The next book I plan to read is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I actually own 2 copies of this book. One book I got for 50 cents at a book drive at my high school during the play that we had this year, which was Footloose. And I plan to read that one because I don't want to tatter this one up because I got this one from Walmart. And I got a box set, and I don't want to mess it up. I mean, who wants to mess up a nice paperback? Whenever I read paperbacks, they end up destroyed because I bend them really bad. I try not to, but it's inevitable. The next book I plan to read is The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first book in the Lord of the Rings series by J.R.R. Tolkien. As you can probably guess, I want to read this whole entire series over spring break, because spring break just started, and spring break means reading time for me. And every other booktuber or book lover in the world, it's time for me to read. Non-stop. You guessed it, the next book is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. And after that is The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. These are the movie cover editions, but who cares? Lord of the Rings is Lord of the Rings. I've never read the series. My sisters read them when they were young, but I want to appreciate them more at an older age. I've already seen the movies, so I'm kind of spoiled, but I want to experience Lord of the Rings for myself. The next book I plan to read is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This will be the first alien sci-fi book that I've ever read, and I'm so excited to read it because it's going to become a movie, and I'll be able to do a book-to-movie adaptation review, and I'm just really excited, and I hope I don't tear this copy up because it's really pretty. The last book I plan to read is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This book is about children and rehabilitation centers, and I hauled it last week, and I hope to get to it this week. Because spring break, man, who doesn't read during spring break? So that concludes my March wrap-up and my April TBR. I hope to finish all these books. The month of March was very good to me. I read so much, and I hope to read as much in April, my birthday month, and I hope to get more books on my birthday, and I'm sorry for the harsh lighting. It's kind of late right now, and I really wanted to film this because I just finished reading Red Queen, and I was like, I need to hop on all these other bandwagons, because as soon as I hopped on the Red Queen bandwagon, I do not want to stop. I want the sequel. I want the whole entire series. I love this book. I never really hate books. Books can't be hated, except for Catch-22. Just kidding. I'm a student. I don't like being forced to read anything, especially if I end up getting an F because I don't read it. So thank you for watching, and I hope you comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Bye! And I just want to read this because everybody loves it, and it was on sale at Target, and I really think it's worth my time. The next book I plan to read, and the last book is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken.